Coming up on Around San Diego. So for years, we have been working for you on issues plaguing San Diego's water department. We will share what they are calling drastic improvements to their system. And the Mendez brothers have been resentenced. We'll break down what's next for them. Plus, a restaurant linked to nearly 100 cases of salmonella. And now the owner is speaking out why he says his restaurant is being treated unfairly. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day, and I'll get you caught up on a week's worth of news, and we'll look ahead in less than 30 minutes. So you know it by now. For years, we have been working for you, doing story after story on issues plaguing San Diego's water department, including customers either not receiving bills or getting ones totaling thousands of dollars. Well, now the city's Public Utilities Department says it has made drastic improvements. They reached out to us to share what has changed. Our Shannon Handy is working for you as always and shares what they had to say.
Following all of our coverage on these water bill issues, the City Council demanded PUD make improvements and provide annual updates. Well, before updating the council this afternoon, I sat down with PUD's customer support director. She says from call wait times to backlog bills, everything has gotten better.
I'm really proud of my staff. I'm really proud of all the hard work that they've done.
Michelle Costello is Deputy Director of PUD's Customer Support Division. She was brought on 10 months ago during a time when the department was facing ongoing criticism from customers, many of whom appeared in countless CBS 8 stories.
It was a pretty big shock to us.
I just didn't notice that I wasn't getting my water bill.
It's as if we don't exist.
Time and time again, we reported on people not getting water bills for months. Then without any explanation or warning, they get a ton all at once, totaling thousands of dollars. Another complaint, when they called to figure out what was going on, it took hours to reach someone on the phone.
The root cause, the reason a lot of people were calling was because of this billing issue. So we really just deployed a lot of our existing resources that we had to really tackle that problem.
In doing so, Costello says not only did the billing backlog go down, but so did call wait times. According to statistics provided by PUD, in the past year, there's been a 90% reduction in the held bill backlog. In February 2024, the backlog was 24,497 bills. In March of this year, the backlog was 2,411. The current backlog is about 1,200, less than 1% of overall accounts. And customer wait times have reached a record low. In March 2024, the average wait time was 33 minutes and 44 seconds, down from close to 2 hours a year before. Now it's 1 minute, 53 seconds.
I think the biggest change is really about understanding the technology, understanding the data, and then really deploying the resources appropriately.
All of which took years to make a noticeable impact.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Today, Costello presented those changes to the City Council, telling me beforehand, while she's proud of the progress, there's still room for improvement, including regaining the public's trust.
I think what I would say to customers who may feel a little bit leery is go ahead and give us a try. I have a very dedicated staff who really just want to serve the public and do good work.
Working for you, Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
And the Public Utilities Department tells us it does offer payment plans for customers who need one. Well, we are now looking at what's next for Eric and Lyle Mendez. A judge resentenced the brothers to 50 years to life with the possibility of parole for killing their parents in 1989. Well, the judge agreed their sentences should be reduced. He also agreed with the Los Angeles District Attorney, saying the men might not be ready for release just yet. One district attorney talked to us about what the brothers should accomplish before their release.
They can deal with the issues that cause their risk level to be increased and then finally come clean with all their lies, fraud, and deceit, then they should be appropriate candidates for parole.
Yeah, the Mendez family says they have been behind bars long enough. The parole hearing is now set for June 13th. If granted, the brothers could be released within 5 months, according to state corrections officials. Well, Congressman Mike Levin and other local leaders say more needs to be done to prevent boat smuggling tragedies off the coast of San Diego. This comes after a panga capsized near Torrey Pines State Beach just last week, killing 3 people. Levin says he wants to install autonomous surveillance towers along the San Diego coast, which are basically towers that include cameras, radar, and AI. He says the technology is similar to what's already being used by Border Patrol.
$60 million in federal funding for autonomous surveillance towers. These towers would be deployed along our maritime borders, and they would use cameras, radar, and infrared technology to identify and help intercept maritime threats.
Yeah, so Congressman Levin there says this technology is needed to close any gaps in security. He is also pushing Congress to vote on a resolution that would double the range in which Customs and Border Patrol agents can operate at sea from 12 nautical miles to 24 nautical miles. Now, a busy intersection in University Heights is getting renewed attention, not just from city leaders, but from the community, pushing for change. Local officials joined traffic safety advocates and neighborhood groups saying improvements are much needed at the intersection where El Cajon Boulevard meets with Park Boulevard and Normal Street. A petition asking for change has continued to grow with more than 9,000 signatures. Councilmember Stephen Whitburn called on the city to perform a traffic study to help redesign those intersections.
Confusing for drivers, it is dangerous for bicyclists, and it has proven deadly for pedestrians.
Yeah, we will continue to work for you on this story, and we'll check back with Councilmember Stephen Whitburn to see how the city responds. In the meantime, if you are interested in signing that petition called Stand Up for Safety, we do have it on our website, cbs8.com. Well, right now, Governor Gov Newsom is ordering cities across California to clear out homeless encampments. The unveiled new plan saying past efforts have not produced good results, despite the state providing billions of dollars in funding. The order gives cities and counties recommendations on how to address the issue. They include making it illegal to construct a semi-permanent structure for shelter and to sit, sleep, or lie on a public street that impedes passage.
Not human to step over people in the sidewalks and streets. It's not human to allow people to live 3, 4, 5 years in encampments. It's not human to allow the status quo to continue.
Yeah, he also announced more than $3 billion in funding to expand behavioral health housing and treatment options for mentally ill and homeless populations. Well, millions of State Farm insurance customers around California will soon experience substantial rate hikes. This comes after an emergency increase was approved by the state's insurance commissioner. The approved increases include an average 17% rise for homeowners, 15% for renters and condo owners, and a 38% spike for rental property owners. The rate hikes are set to take effect June 1st. State Farm's request for an emergency rate increase came in the wake of those January wildfires in Los Angeles. Well, we are hearing from the owner of Aladdin Mediterranean Cafe after health officials say a salmonella outbreak was linked to his restaurant. The county health department says the outbreak happened between April 25th and May 1st and says the new number of probable and confirmed cases is now at 98. Right now, there are at least 50 victims in 3 different lawsuits filed against the restaurant. Aladdin's owner, Hamdi Akalaf, says that he is really very sorry if people got sick there at his restaurant, but he says he feels he is being treated unfairly.
You know, we're humans at Aladdin. Other restaurants are humans. You know, the food is cooked by humans, okay, not by angels or by God. So there is a chance, maybe 1 over 100 million things go wrong. Maybe from us, I don't know. And maybe from the produce we get.
Yeah, so Aladdin was inspected by the county on May 1st, and it was allowed to reopen. So far, health inspectors have not been able to pinpoint an exact source of that outbreak. Well, a program at Father Joe's Villages is offering those who previously experienced homelessness a chance to start over using their culinary skills. An inspiring story next. Good update for you now. We are learning the Border Patrol canine that was bitten by a rattlesnake is out of the hospital and recovering at home. Boo was bitten on his foot last Friday while patrolling in Otay Mesa. His handler quickly called for help, and within minutes, Boo was airlifted by helicopter to an emergency vet in La Mesa. Thanks to a rapid air rescue response, Boo received life-saving care, including anti-venom and IV fluids. Well, we are now getting a look inside Scripps Memorial Hospital's new North Tower, opening soon in La Jolla. The $664 million addition will add nearly 200 beds to the medical campus for a total of about 500. The North Tower features state-of-the-art operating rooms, advanced treatment areas, and updated maternity services, including the hospital's first soaking tub to support natural deliveries. The new wing also includes a Rady Children's NICU with special accommodations for multiple births. The North Tower opens on June 1st. Well, a culinary program offered by Father Joe's Villages is offering aspiring chefs a new opportunity that many of them consider a second chance at life. I was there for their graduation. The graduates will leave here today with a certificate of completion, an updated resume, and the skills needed to get and keep a job, leaving homelessness behind.
Chef Helen was an excellent teacher. Really enjoyed the class. Says I was her best student ever and made me feel really good.
Filled with emotion and gratitude, not only for the culinary course, but for the second chance at life it brings.
Hopefully going to get my own place and then have my oldest grandson live with me.
In a matter of months, Wallace Wadey went from homeless to student to chef.
Now I'm going to start working part-time, and eventually I want to get a grant and start my own little coffee shop.
25 years ago, Wally was a chef, successful in the hotel industry until he became ill and had to go on disability. Moves and other losses eventually led to life on the street.
It's really, really bad. I mean, really bad. I mean, people living behind dumpsters.
He's been in the shelter with 2,500 others now for about 6 months, and again just graduated from Father Joe's Village's culinary arts program, even making this beautiful spread for today's guests.
He shows up, he's steady, I know I can count on him. I would recommend him for any job that he wants.
The successful program in this new state-of-the-art kitchen provides so much more than just culinary skills.
Showing up every day, doing the work, and creating a team with each other, they really gain their confidence back. There's something about food service that you have to have this inner drive, and these guys have it.
I'm told that drive, their confidence and ability to rediscover hope has led previous graduates to go on to work at top San Diego culinary institutions, leaving a life of homelessness behind.
If I can just help one person, I have done my job for the day. I'm so grateful and honored to be doing this work.
There are several other programs offered here that teach specific skills like welding or property management, all to empower people and improve their situation. Reporting from the East Village, Jenny Day, CBS 8. Yeah, congrats again to those grads. Well, the Red Fox Room, a San Diego institution for more than 65 years, has now shut down and fired all of its employees. Former employees tell us it happened without any warning. Now, the restaurant is known for its 400-year-old English decor and piano bar. It had recently relocated due to renovations at the Lafayette Hotel, but ownership cited financial struggles and hinted at a possible reopening later this year. Those staff say they were not informed. They tell us they feel blindsided, with many having worked there for decades.
It's sad we didn't get to say goodbye to any of our regular customers or each other, you know. So it hurts.
Yeah, multiple employees also told us the owners are experiencing issues outside of work, and that may have also played a factor in the restaurant closing. We'll keep you posted. Still ahead, the Torrey Pine is facing a new threat. It's called the pitch canker. We'll explain what it's doing in an Earth 8 report. Well, the Torrey pine is one of the rarest trees on the planet, and its only natural habitats are found here in San Diego and on Santa Rosa Island. Now, here in San Diego, they have been through a lot recently. The trees were severely impacted by a more than 2-decade-long drought. Then as they started to bounce back came the bark beetle infestation, and now the Torrey pine is facing a new threat. It's called pitch canker. Meteorologist Sean Stiles looks at how it's impacting the trees and what's being done about it in this Earth 8 report.
San Diego is a unique place, and one of the things that makes it so special are the Torrey Pines. They can only be found on two places on the planet, here in the Torrey Pines State Natural Reserve and out on Santa Rosa Island. But a big problem for these trees is the bark beetle they've been dealing with over the past 20 years. And a new problem is pitch canker, which is adding immense stress.
They've been through a lot to persist here for as long as they've made it here.
The Torrey Pines State Natural Reserve is a lot bigger than you think, stretching 1,600 acres from the Torrey Pines glider port to the bluffs just south of Del Mar. To get a lay of the land, we went on a hike with California State Parks senior environmental scientist Darren Smith.
So, all these sort of changes are kind of hard on plants that don't evolve very quickly.
Smith describes the latest assault on the Torrey pine, pitch canker, and how it spreads.
Pitch canker, and what happens is the pitch canker is a fungal infection or a fungus, and the beetles carry the fungus around from tree to tree, and they create a wound on the tree, and that's where the fungus can enter the tree's system.
The first signs of pitch canker started showing up in the park about 5 years ago, which is considered fairly recent.
That's one of our volunteers picked up a tree and did some testing and did a private lab sample and found out that it was pitch canker, and we confirmed that with the state agency that looks at those things. And since then, we think it spread almost through the entire 1,600 acres here at the reserve.
After hearing that, my concern was, could the Torrey pines be wiped out? Is it deadly to the trees?
We haven't seen any mortality yet, at least in large trees. The hope is that the trees have some resistance. They may be a little funkier looking with some dead branches, but ultimately recover. We just don't know for sure. Only time will tell.
Because the reserve is so big, the Park Service is in a monitoring mode, but they are collaborating with other agencies.
We're partnering with San Diego Zoo and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, U.S. Forest Service. All these agencies have a task force, a pitch canker task force, to look at problems like these.
Currently, the focus is on containment.
By not using tools on any of these trees that are used outside without a thorough, sanitization, or not carrying any bark or material off-site where there could be other coniferous trees where we could spread this disease.
These problems all circle back around to climate change. Over the past 20 years of mainly drought conditions, that has reduced the sap production in the trees, which helps protect the Torrey pines from invasive pests like the bark beetle, which is also the vector for pitch canker. But as bad as all this sounds, we did find some hope while we were on our hike.
So this little tree here last year we thought was a goner. It's infested with pitch canker. It lost most of its needles and branches. It was really looking in sorry shape, and this is really encouraging to see. It looks like a lot of new growth is coming up from it. You can see the dead part up in the crown there, but this new growth is encouraging, at least for now.
The Torrey pines have been dealing with stress for decades, and as we just heard Darren tell us about that young Torrey pine that had pitch canker, it is rebounding back. So there is hope for the trees here up on Torrey pines. Sean Stiles, Earth 8.
And they are so beautiful. We need them to thrive. So thank you, Sean. That will do it for us. Thank you for your time. Thanks for staying informed as always. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take such good care.